Today I'm super excited. We've got a 2022 Bronco in the shop, and I'm going to install our Ruggedradios Bronco Kit in. Let me show you how easy it is to put two-way communications in your new Ford Bronco. All right, let's see what comes in the box. So we've got our antenna, got our antenna cable, we've got the billet antenna mount, and we've got the mount for the radio, and then we've got our GMRS 45 radio kit in here. Everything you need to get that installed. All right, once you remove the parts from the bag with the mount, I'm going to go ahead and put those radio tabs using the small bolts provided in the bag. You don't have to tighten them all the way up, just get them snug, so once you put the radio in there, you can adjust it where you want and then tighten it down. All right, now you're going to want to pull those screws out of the side of the radio and then place the radio between those two L brackets with the radio facing up, as you see in the picture, and then tighten the screws back down. All right, with the radio installed on the bracket, it's time to pop the hood and pull the grommet out from underneath the hood where we're going to run the cables through the firewall. The grommet we're using is the one just beside the master cylinder. You can use this grommet if you have an automatic transmission. If you have a manual, you'll have to take the cabling through the larger grommet right below it. Okay, I took and just made a slit about 1.25 inches long, just so that I could open it up and get that waterproof connector through the grommet. Make sure you take it through the bubble side first. That way that's the part that goes inside the cab. As soon as you get the wiring through, you can run the coax cable through using the big chrome connector first. All right, once you got the cables through the grommet, you can go ahead and run those cables through the hole in the firewall. Make sure you get both of them in there. Once you get them both inside the cab, you can pull them through from inside the vehicle. You'll want to pull about 3 foot of cabling inside the cab. Once you get it inside, you'll run it behind the HVAC controls and out the other side. With the antenna cable and the power cable ran inside, you can now pull the 2 screws that hold the grab handle on the passenger side of the console out. All right, with the factory bolts out, you can take the supplied bolts that come in the radio mount kit and the little spacers, put them through the mount with the spacers on, and then you can take it inside the vehicle and reinstall the bolts in the factory location. Tighten them down finger tight, then grab your ratchet and snug them up. With the radio installed, it's time to go out and go to the rear view mirror and do the antenna mount. So first you're going to want to take out the 2 bolts that hold the plastic cover on the mirror. Okay, once you get the bolts out, take the antenna mount and put it in place, and then put the bolts back in it, securing them down. What this will do is it'll give you a template on where to drill the 3/8 hole. With the antenna mount in place, you can take that 3/8 drill bit and drill a hole through the plastic using the antenna mount as a guide. Once you get that through, go ahead and take that antenna mount back off, and then we'll open up that hole underneath to allow a surface area for the NMO on the antenna cable to create a ground. All right, once you get the bolts out, you can take that antenna mount off, and then just use your fingers and kind of pry up on that plastic piece for the rearview mirror and pull it off. With the plastic piece off, use a step bit to drill a 1.125 hole in that plastic piece. After that, you'll take that 3/8 drill bit again and go right at where that arrow is and drill a 3/8 hole there. You'll then cut between the two holes and then clean up the edges with the file. Okay, with the hole cut in there, you can take and unscrew the NMO nut off of the antenna cable and then fish it on the inside of the hinge up through and into the rear view mirror. Once that cable's ran, you can go ahead and close the hood so you have easier access to the top part of the mirror so you can install the mount the rest of the way. All right, next you'll run the cable through the hole and then grab the mount and put the NMO stud through that 3/8 hole and screw the nut on. With the nut secure, flip it over and ensure that the cable runs through that channel that you created in the plastic. Okay, now that you've got it on, you can go ahead and flip it back over and reattach the plastic to the rear view mirror. With the mount securely in place, you can take a small crescent wrench and just snug up the NMO nut. Remember, this is a brass fitting, so you don't want to over tighten it. Now you can go ahead and install your antenna. Whether you're using a 0.5 antenna or one of our stealth antennas, they screw on the same way. The antenna on, now you can pop the hood back open and go ahead and hook the power cables up to the battery. So do the positive terminal first, put it on, get the nut back on there and get it snugged up, and then move over to the ground side and do the same. Now you can go back inside, hook up the coax cable to the radio, and plug in the power using the waterproof connector. All right, with the radio plugged in, go ahead and clean off a good spot on your dash anywhere and put that skosh magnet on there so you have a place to hang your hand mic. I chose to do it on the side of the center console, makes it easy to reach and also out of the way. Okay, now it's time to load that Bronco up, turn the radio on, and stay connected on your next adventure.